got all the turbo and radiator and stuff out of here. Going to get as far as I can today and kind of take my time, take this thing apart, and see how far I get. We got a little Christmas party deal to go to for Stephanie's work, so we're gonna see how far I get. But yep, the dogs are helping me. Remy's helping me. Piston's helping me. But sucks getting too good at taking these engines out of this car, but it'll be worth it. Also, I forgot to show y'all, I did break down and buy a brand new truck. It's a 2022 F250 XLT premium, nothing too crazy, but nicest thing I've ever owned by far, by a long shot. But anyways, let's keep going. Alright, a little more progress. Got the intake off, unplugged a bunch of stuff, but I found something interesting. This was the coupler coming off of the turbo. It was right here. Comes straight off the turbo into the pipe, and I noticed my boost was oscillating a little bit, and I found out why. That is like a 1.5 inch slit right there, all the way through the coupler. So yeah, the thing's got some potential if I can keep everything together all at one time. Alright, well, got the engine out, free and open engine bay. So now I can clean up all my crap, put it back in the shop, and start taking this thing apart, see what really happened to it. Let me hear the turbo. Starting to dig into this thing a little bit. Pulled the valve covers off, and there's a lot of blow-by or something in here, especially on this side over here. This side had a little bit on the back here, but I'm not sure exactly what that is. I mean, I guess it looks like blow-by to me, or I don't think it's like a head gasket mixing anything in there, but it's like I have to dig a little deeper. All the plugs look fine. Nothing really looks bad about the plugs. They all look, there's no oil or anything on them. So, I don't know. Keep digging in this thing and see what we find. So, I wanted to show you what I found with the engine here. Might be hard to see, but so this number 2 piston and rod I've got out. Let's see if you can see. Kind of hard to tell in the video. Here's a few pictures to show the bent rods. There was more than just these 3, but these were the worst ones you could see with your eye. You got a little tweak. Got some bendage here on the rod. The noise I was hearing with it tapping, you can see the little scrape on the connecting rod right here. It was scraping on the counterweight for the crank. It was hitting right there. You can see it. It was hitting along this edge right here, scraping a little bit of material off the counterweight of the crank every time the piston and the counterweight would get close, and that's the tapping that I heard. And there's a couple more rods in here that are bent. See if I can turn the light on. What you see, probably gonna be hard to see with this light in here, but the that rod is a little bit tweaked there. That one is a little bit tweaked also, which explains the blow-by, because the blow-by is caused when the cylinder is in the bore and it's crooked, and the rings don't seal all the way, so it's blowing a bunch of oil and stuff past compression and everything, blowing it out. And explains why the car was smoking, because the turbo drain goes into the side of the oil pan, and it was pressurizing the whole crankcase with the blow-by, especially under heavy load, and it was just not letting the oil to drain through the turbo, and it was messing up the seal of the turbo, and it was just dumping oil in the downpipe and making it smoke really bad. So sorry for the quality of this clip, but you can see all the smoke at idle and the oil in the downpipe that I was getting when this all initially happened, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. That kind of explains everything to me. What I'm going to do in the future is I've got some Summit Pro LS piston and rods coming for this thing. I've never had any kind of forged internals before, but I'm thinking that the load of a stick shift car is just too much for what I'm doing. I think I can get away with it if it was automatic because of just the converter keeping it up in the RPM, keeping it at a peak torque. But with it being a stick shift, if I don't keep it all the way up in RPM, or if it's spinning and I shift a gear and it goes down too low in RPM and it spikes boost again, then it's putting a lot of load on these stock rods. I can tell that the fueling's okay because the plugs look okay and it didn't mess up any pistons. So it's just a matter of too much power in the wrong area for these stock rods. So I'm gonna change the rods out in this thing, and I'm gonna order some heads. I found some decent heads that I've heard from for a couple of different engine builders, and they don't have freeze plugs in them like these factory heads do, and they've got a little bit thicker deck surface on them, so hopefully it'll keep a gasket in better, and I can just keep this thing between 900 to 1,000 horsepower, have it be very reliable, and hopefully I can drive it for a while like that and keep a motor in it and not have to keep pulling these out. But that's pretty much the plan at this point on this car. I got a few other things in the works. I have a micro squirt going in to my I have a Mega Squirt Gold box, so I have another micro squirt module going in with the harness, so that'll give me a little bit more little inputs and outputs to mess with. That way I can see what's going on. I'll probably put a back pressure sensor on the car and everything, and just monitor some more stuff like that. And I might hook up some wheel speed sensors and try some traction control or something, just play around with it. But yeah, that's pretty much the update for right now. The pistons and rods should be here tomorrow, so hopefully I can start getting this thing put back together again. I'm going to hone it and just put those in and gap the rings and do all that stuff that I need to do. But I'll film a little bit of that also. But like I said, we'll get this thing back together, and hopefully we can do a little bit more racing stuff whenever it warms up. It's pretty cold, rainy, junky outside, so I'm not missing a whole lot there. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and see you in the next video. Thanks.